This is Sealine's F430 flybridge. Now we do have a 430 on the channel already, but it is the C430, which is the coupe version. This is the flybridge, so we have another deck, the flybridge deck up on the top. So we're going to do the full tour of this one, and obviously we'll include that as well, and you'll be able to see the entire boat. So we'll go right to the very back and we'll step on via this bathing platform. Now it's a fixed platform on this one. You can have a high-low platform if you prefer. So with this you can just pull a tender up onto it if you have a lightweight one, or you can have a passerelle or a crane and lift a heavier rib on if you prefer. One interesting touch is a swimming pool style boarding ladder. So you have a boarding ladder that drops into here and it sort of hoops over like you have on the side of a swimming pool, which is very nice for getting out of the water. And what's quite clever is there's then an emergency boarding ladder, so if somebody falls in the water and that's not in place, there's one that pulls out from here, so you've got another way onto the boat in an emergency situation. Hopefully you'll never need it. Nice to know it's there. Let's step up into the cockpit. So this is pretty conventional. You've got the seating around the back here. This table will fold over, so if you want more space for dining, then you've got it. And in fact, you can have a high-low table there if you want to. So if you want to be able to drop that down and make that into a sunbathing area, then you can. We'll do the inside first of all, and then we'll work our way through to the outside of the boat. This one's got the light wood and the light leather. So this is a chestnut wood, and they do options of a darker, I think it's a walnut wood as an alternative. There's also, if you prefer it, you can have a high gloss finish, but this matte finish I think looks very modern and contemporary. It's a galley aft layout. It's all electric cooking on this particular boat, so we've got the 2-burner there, and then the oven is down here. On this side then, there's loads of storage, and you've got drawers that pull out like so, for all your bits and pieces. And then on this side you've got a double fridge. I'm guessing you could probably swap one of those for a freezer if you preferred. And then up here, that's just again a bit more storage. So this is the saloon area. Now they do various layout options, and I think I'll show you those as we go past. The boat we're on is this one. So you've got a 2-cabin layout. There's a cabin at the front and a cabin in the centre of the boat, but they also do it, and I'll explain it in a bit more detail when we go down onto the lower deck, with twin cabins back here. So it's a 3-cabin layout with 2 singles and a double, or you can have 2 doubles and then a double further forward. But as I say, I'll explain that in a little bit more detail, but that will hopefully help to reference that when we have a look at it. Because it's a 2-cabin layout, you can convert this. It's got a high-low table here, so that can take your sleeping up to 6 if you need it to. There's an infill cushion, of course, that goes on there. You've got a TV that pops up over on that side, and then over here is your helm. What's quite neat is that this seat, you can see there's a big area behind it, and the idea of that is that you can just lift this and turn it, and that then gives you a much larger social area. The helm itself, there's a door next to it, which is very nice on this side of the boat. It's quite unusual. And then you've got multifunction display. It's on IPS, this boat, so there's an IPS controller, the engine controls, autopilot, all the usual bits and pieces that you would expect. Let's head on down to that lower deck, and I'll explain in a little bit more detail the layout options. So if we go down here, we'll head right to the front first of all. This is pretty standard, except that this one has scissor beds in. So these can pull together to make a double bed, or they can open up as we've got them now, and you've got 2 singles. The alternative is a fixed double bed in the centre. So if you just wanted a double bed only, then you can have that. Some nice lighting in here. I like the way we've done this in around here and up around the hatch. There's an opening hatch. There's some beds on at the moment, but that opens up, and I quite like the fact there's a forward screen there. You can't see much out of it because the bulkhead is there, but it does let a lot of extra light into here, which is nice. And then you've got big hull windows as well. We're down at Mercury Marina at the moment, which is where TBS boats are based, who are the dealers for these down here. What else can I show you? Well, there's hanging lockers in here, of course, like so. And some quite funky lighting switches, so you can change to have more muted lighting or all the lights on, or set that up however you want. Now this cabin has its own ensuite. So if we go over onto this side, there's another locker over here. And this is the heads just for this cabin. So really nice size. It's a translucent skylight in the ceiling, so you can get plenty of light into here. And a separate shower stall. And then storage down in places like this. So really nice size heads actually. Again, there's a big window in here. There is of course a blind that will pull down if you want it. Let's go back out of here. So where you can start to shake things up is when we come back to this cabin. Now you notice a door here and a door here. These actually go into the same cabin. I'll show you as we go on around. So this takes us into a full beam cabin. Now it's arguable on this boat which of these two cabins is the master cabin. You can call it either way really, because this is a good size, but it doesn't have quite the headroom of the forward cabin. It just dips a little bit in the centre, but you've got plenty to go down the sides of the bed. And again, tons of storage in here. Places like this. There's a wardrobe here and more storage next to it. And now if I can explain how the other alternatives work. If you imagine this cabin with a bulkhead splitting it, and then what you can have is you can have two singles on one side and a double on the other, or you can have a double on both sides. So that's how it makes a 3 cabin layout. And that's why, if we go right around this side, there's another storage area over here. This is that other door out into the passageway. So if it is split into 2 cabins, that's how you come in and out. And this then takes you into the day heads. So it means that when it's a 2 cabin version like this, this is effectively an ensuite at night time. And again, separate shower stall. But this door is directly back out into the passageway. So that if this cabin is split into 2, then they would both use that. One of them of course would have what they call Jack and Jill access, so it's got access direct from one side. There we go. Hopefully that's fairly clear. But what it boils down to is that cabin back there is a single cabin on this boat, but it's a twin cabin with these doors accessing each cabin as an option. Let's head on up and round the boat, and we'll magic up some shoes. Here we go. So this is taking us up to the foredeck. They've done quite a bit with the foredeck on this boat. So you've got sun pads, they can lie flat or they can lift up as we've got them here. And then there's also another section that lifts up. So this would lie flat when the boat's underway, or if you're using this just for sunbathing. But if you wanted a seating area, it lifts up as you can see it here. And then these cushions just drop over the rail. Again, when you're underway and out at sea, you tuck those away. But it just gives you another little social area on the front of the boat. And these are little pop-up lights here, which are rather clever. So they fold away. Let's head on all the way back around the boat. And we'll go and take a look at the flybridge. So that's back here. And we will find some steps over on the starboard side. So let's head on up. And this, of course, is the big difference between the C430 and the F430. On a C430, this is just a flat roof. It's got a big sliding section at the front, so you've got a sunroof over the helm. But on the flybridge, this gives you a complete new deck up here. You can, if you want, have a little wet bar area over here with a sink and a griddle. This one's just been left open, and you can see then there's a load of seating around here. This table unfolds thusly, and this seat's quite clever because at the moment it's forward facing seating, so you've got seating for easily 4 across here facing forward, but you can lift it like that and that just increases the size of the dinette. So if you're dining up here, of course, then that transforms that into a really big eating area. And then finally you've got the helm up here. So as I mentioned, it's a double helm, and you've got all your instrumentation, so your Raymarine screen is up here, IPS controller, all that kind of thing, and a great view out across the front. Always the benefit of a flybridge boat, it gives you a really high vantage point, which is terrific when you're manoeuvring in places like marinas like this. You can even look backwards and you can see the edge of the bathing platform, which again, great when you're reversing in. Anyway, that then is the flybridge. The only thing left is the engine room. There's no crew cabin on this boat because at 43 foot it is an owner-operator boat. You wouldn't get crew on this sort of size. So we'll flip that table over that way, And then there is a little switch which we can find in here, marked engine room hatch, and that will wind that one up. Okay, let's have a step down in. Now this has a pair of Volvo Penta IPS 600 engines. They are 440 horsepower each. They're giving the boat a top speed just a touch over 30 knots and cruising therefore at about 25. And the range, pretty typical for a boat of this size and style. Doing planing speeds, you're going to get about 200 miles out of it, that sort of area. That's the generator over there in the corner. And then obviously you can get around here to all the various engineering elements. Like so. Excellent. I think that is pretty much it. I think what we'll do, in fact, is we'll head back up here. We'll wind that shut super fast by the magic of video editing. And then I'm going to take a stroll up to the bow and we're going to take advantage of that lovely foredeck seating area on this rather bright sunny day in September at Mercury Yacht Harbour. Here we go, this will do nicely. So I'm going to say huge thanks to TBS Boat Sales. They've organised this tour for me, and huge thanks as ever to you guys for watching. Hope you've enjoyed that one. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll look forward very much to catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.